Good evening. Welcome to Freaking Fanfictions, Part 3. Today, I will be starting a new fanfiction that I've been talking about for a while. Heroes aren't always what you expect them to be. It is a cluster-fudge, for lack of a better word, of Fall Out Boy, Panic the Disco, My Chemical Romance, Josh Ramsey, Ryan Reynolds, My Friends, werewolves, vampires, and some other random things I just threw in. I wrote this when I was 13, so please, enjoy my pain. Every day, if I get around to it, I will try to post at least one chapter. It is 146 pages, unfortunately, for myself. Fortunately for you, it's very humorous to watch my pain. I will also be acting out some of the parts as if you didn't need any more stupidity in your life. And that's only if I have time. Because right now I have college, and although I only have 2 days a week of college, I'm tired most of the time and I don't know why. Perhaps it's just me being a lazy butt. Anyways, please enjoy Heroes Aren't Always What You Expect Them to Be, Chapter 1. The part where it sounds like Twilight before I even read it. Heroes Aren't Always What You Expect Them to Be, a hybrid fanfiction by Taya Crescent. That's my fanfiction writing name. Chapter 1. Introduction. I opened my eyes ever so slowly as I felt a scent wash over me. I glanced out into the dark green forest, trying to make out the scent. I realized it was snow as it began to slowly fall from the sky and onto the ground around me, coloring the darkened landscape in a vibrant white. The snow began to pick up its pace as my heartbeat slowed its normally steady pace. I looked down at my hands. Within them, I held an empty bottle of pills, because I was very suicidal. Apparently in the story, I just had such a hard life. And now, they were starting to work their magic. I sighed as I let the snow fall into my face, mixing with my tears as they melted against my pale skin. I am very pale. I have tried tanning before, and even when I tan, I am still pale. For example, when I went to Hawaii once, I got asked if I was sick on the way home. My oceanic eyes dulled as I stared off into the sky, beginning to close my eyes. My black eyeliner ran down my face with the salt water and snow as the wind began to pick up, blowing my short chestnut brown hair with it. Remember, I was 13. When I was 13, I had brown hair. Normal people would take this moment as a bad day, with the wind and the snow. But I found it to be a perfect day to die on. Peaceful, silent, lonely, cold, still. Those are a lot of adjectives, like my heart. I felt my consciousness slipping as my body began to collide with the ground, dropping the bottle. I wouldn't feel any pain as my life disappeared from my grasp, and it brought on a smile, which spread against my face softly. With my last bit of strength, I whispered one phrase into the wind. And this is also stolen from something else, I'm pretty sure. "You can't fire me, God. I quit," I hissed. I'm not religious, by the way. I'm agnostic. I don't know why I'm speaking to God in this. I was not religious at all back then. I'm weird. I suddenly felt my mind slip into darkness. The next few moments remain a blur, but I do remember walking for a moment. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't walk, I woke up. But I do remember waking for a moment. Just a moment was all I needed to look up and gaze into a pair of puppy dog-like brown eyes. I didn't know anyone with brown eyes. Actually, I did. Who was this? And why did he save me? I gritted my teeth, clinging onto his shirt. "Stop!" I whispered, a cloud of warm air floating up into the sky as the words escaped my mouth. The figure shook his head as I began to lose consciousness. I can speak English really well. Yet again. When I awoke from my death-like sleep, I was shocked. I hadn't died. I examined my body, seeing if they had to amputate anything or if there were any signs of actually having to die. Nothing. Just as I felt like I was going to throw a temper tantrum, the doctor walked into his room. Well, it's not actually his room, it's the room, shaking his head at me. I glared at him, the hair on the back of my neck standing up. Hup. Hup. Hup is my new word for up. "What do you want?" I snarled. He sighed, running a hand through his thick black hair. Normally with his thin, lanky body and features that look cute, yet not too cute to not be taken seriously. That's actually quite difficult for me to read, I'm not sure why. Most girls would be drooling by now over my reading skills, but he wasn't my type. "Taylor Vandenberg, you tried to kill yourself," he stated. "Oh, there's swear words in this." "No bleep, Doc." "No, it was an accident. With that big brain, it's no wonder you got this job or even graduated for that matter." I nodded. Because I am a female dog. "It's Taya. And yeah, I know," I said softly. He sighed yet again. "I didn't tell your parents. I think he's supposed to, but I don't care. In this story, he doesn't tell my parents. I figured it would make them happier if they didn't know," he explained. I saw a glint of fake in his eyes. Because you can see a glint of fake in someone's eye. And it's not that he has a fake eye. It's just that he's lying. I laughed. "You figured, or was it someone else who suggested it?" I asked. He grinned slightly, making sure not to show his teeth. I found this strange, but simply pushed the thought aside. Suddenly, a boy about my age walked in. Now that I thought about it, the doc also looked about my age. Which was strange, because I was pretty sure he was a lot older than me if he was a doctor. He turned to the boy and grinned bitterly. The boy looked back as a look of hatred crossed his soft brown eyes. He shook some of his emo-cut, light brown hair out of the way of his painted eyes as he adjusted his hoodie. "Hello, Mr. Ross," he said. Mr. Ross. He turned to me, switching focus. "You see, Miss Vandenberg, this is the man who saved you." "Yes, my last name is Vandenberg. Deal with it." This Mr. Ross character, he was the one to blame for the fact I was still alive. He smiled shyly. I simply glared and turned away. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw him begin to growl like some sort of animal. The doctor put one hand against his chest as he glared back at Mr. Ross. Unfortunately, I do not have enough time on my computer to record the rest of this chapter. So, I will record the rest of it tomorrow and maybe even act out of it. Thank you for watching half of chapter 1. Good night.